Here we have the final goal of stage 6. And what we gotta do, of course, is gotta hit the top speed twice. The target is 195 miles per hour, or 313.9 kilometers per hour. Just round it off to 314. Just keep things simple, right? Without going off track or damaging your car. And it's gonna be over this 2-lap cup race at Spa. And the size of the grid, 8 cars, so traffic management isn't hugest issue, but you do have to be careful early on in your race, especially heading into and coming out of Eau Rouge, because that's where you're gonna encounter most of congestion, if any. And on paper, at least, I think the car we've got here is inferior compared to those that fill up this grid, because you know we got Ford GT from 2017, we got Hurricane Performante, Sesto Elemento, which are all quite fine cars in their own right. So anyway, so that means like the first hairpin, you gotta make sure you can come out clean, carrying a lot of speed. So you have to make sure you learn your corners, right? Anyway, I did get lucky myself here in this particular run, thanks to that little extracurricular activity going on with bots. So I managed to come out in first place. So that always helps if you can claim the lead early on. So, let's see. And if you don't find yourself in the first place, what I've observed in my previous attempt here at this goal was that if you find the Ford GT in the lead, then it becomes a very, very difficult challenge, because GT just takes off and it's almost impossible. At least for me, it was almost impossible to catch up. And part of the goal, of course, is you have to win. So that's something to keep in mind. But anyway, here we go, heading into Stave Lot. This corner, this is the entry of this long, gentle curves, right? Paul Frere curve. And the next section, known as Blanchimont. And this final bit, you gotta make sure you steer perfectly even, so that way you don't oversteer or understeer, so you can set that top speed afterwards. And then of course, once you set that top speed, you'll be set for at least the lap number 1, and then you'll have to do it the second time in lap 2. So lap 2, obviously you're already in first place at this point. I certainly hope you're in first place at this point, because otherwise the added stress, is just makes the race so much more difficult. In this case, I have Victoria, which is, by the way, the GT, the opponent in GT, at least in my grid, it was. So that bot is a bit of a troublemaker. Even if you have a bit of lead, they catch up pretty quickly. Like second lap, heading into that same stave lot, I often found myself being, tailgated by Victoria. It gets kind of annoying because, sometimes the bot will kind of knock me off. So either I lose too much speed or I just go off track. But this time around, I actually managed to keep some separation, so I was able to make this corner without, in my own terms, without being pushed around, which is definitely a necessity in order to reach the top speed that we gotta set here. So as you can see, we haven't quite hit it heading in here. It's after the exit, heading towards the final bus stop chicane is where we set it. So we need, of course, enough of a track to slow down, because we cannot damage the car either, so we cannot slam into the wall either. So, yep, there it is. So hopefully my commentary in this video helps you guys with some racing strategy. Obviously, if you have more upgrades, you will be able to set the top speed in other spots as well. So, but the spot that you have to set is where I did myself. So there you go. This goal took me a few tries. I figured out that I can do it without adding any more upgrades, but I just had a difficulty, you know, hitting that top speed twice in a row. You know, so took me a few tries, but at the end of the day, I did pull it off. So there we go. And that does put the car in red, so you gotta get that serviced. So there's the upgrade scheme. 1 upgrade across the board, except 3 on brakes. I know, odd one, right? And tires and wheels. Of course, if you watched my video about that speed snap at Hockenheim, you know what I'm talking about. So if you don't know, go check that out. I made a long video about that. So anyway, not a whole lot of rewards for this these stages. I mean, we're into stage 6 and we're still getting 5 gold. So anyway, there's a little message from Michael, who's been having a little bit of catfight with Ahmed. That's been kind of entertaining to watch, I guess. So anyway, so good luck, and we'll see you in stage 7. All right, take care.